I've been looking forward to sharing this with you. This is integrity as it relates to leadership. Now, women talk about how they want an alpha guy, or there's a lot of talk about alpha men. And what they're talking about is really men who exhibit leadership qualities. When you break down what leadership qualities are, you'll find at least two major components. Now, number one is presence. If you look in any system of people, whether it's a circle of friends or at work or in the family, you'll find that the leader, the one who sets the direction, what choices to make, is the one who's the most present. And they might not even be the one who's talking all the time, but you'll find that when they do speak, everyone sits up and pays attention and listens. So that's the first piece, one of the pieces that makes for a leader. Another characteristic of a leader, and the one I really want to dig into today, is composure. Composure is an element of integrity. It's about being totally solid and centered in yourself and not reactive when other people have reactions or get anxious or stressed out, that the leader stays composed and solid and does not react impulsively. So how does this relate inside of a group of people? Well, you'll find that if you look at people as a system, whether it's a family or whether it's people at work or in your social circles, and this comes from Bowen family theory. A guy named Bowen came up with this, and he said that these systems of people are like an electrical circuit. And each person in that system acts as like a transistor. I don't know if that's the right technical term, but it's an electrical component in this electrical system. And there's three types of components, or three types of people that it might be in a system. The first one is the conductor, the second is the amplifier, and the third is the resistor or grounder. So how it works is he considered the electricity of this electrical system to be stress or anxiety. So basically, stress or anxiety comes into the system and people respond in different ways. So for example, like right now, it's 2008 in October, and the economy has been doing a nosedive right now. And people are freaking out. People are having all kinds of responses. And you can see how people respond based on what role they play inside of this electrical system. So for example, some people are conductors, and so they'll hear from one person, oh, the stock market fell 500 points today, and they'll pass it on with the same amount of concern or anxiety, like, oh, the stock market fell 500 points today. Those are conductors. Number two, you have amplifiers. So they'll hear, oh, the stock market fell 500 points today. And they'll say, oh my God, the stock market fell 500 points today. Holy shit, we're all gonna be homeless and penniless and on the street. It's like the voltage comes in at 10 volts and comes out at 110 volts. So they exponentially amplify or amp up the level of anxiety in any system. And then if a conductor gets that, they pass that on. Oh shit, we're gonna be homeless, so they pass that on. Or if it gets another amplifier, it's gonna get even worse. So that's a way of increasing stress and anxiety and flip out in a system. And it would get out of control unless there were people with integrity, aka leaders, aka people with composure, aka this third type of person, which is the resistor or the grounder. And what these people do is when they get 110 volts of anxiety and stress coming at them, like, holy shit, the sky's falling, everything's screwed, we should pull our money out fast. They take that and receive that and ground out that anxiety, and it comes out like, okay, the stock market dropped 500 points today. Let's see what we should choose to do about that, if anything at all. But they come from a place of composure. They're not reacting, they're not flipping out, and they can hold the intensity of the sensations of someone feeling stressed out with them in their body without reacting. They stay very centered. And that's why these resistors or grounders are leaders. They chill everybody out and have them relax so that the whole system can let go and not be so tightly wound. Now this happens to be an incredibly powerful and attractive quality in terms of relating with women. because by their nature, women tend to be more emotional than men. They tend to amplify whatever they're feeling. They tend to be amplifiers in the system. Not always, but oftentimes, and often more than men. And so, especially with expressive women, which we love. Like, there's nothing wrong with amplifiers. Sometimes an alarm does need to be sounded. Like, maybe if it had been sounded sooner with the economy, we wouldn't be in a nosedive right now in a big correction. So amplifiers do have their place in any system. But they can create damage if there's not counterbalanced with resistors or grounders. So while amplifiers make life interesting, aka women, they make life interesting by creating intense emotional experiences for us and for the people around them. Some might call that drama, but it's up to you to decide how much of the full range of her expression you want, because you know, if she's total flatline when you're out talking about, you know, general things, she's probably going to be flatline in the bedroom as well. So it's not necessarily a good thing to have everybody be resistors and grounders in the system. In any case, as it relates to women, the more expressed and the more feminine and flowing and amplifying of whatever emotional state she's in, a woman is, the more grounded and centered and composed you need to be. And that's what we go into, is we teach guys how to stay composed and rock solid and centered, which is the attribute of leaders, which is naturally attractive to women in the power of integrity. So we go over practices and exercises to help you avoid both collapsing and crumbling under the stress or anxiety that comes into your life, and not posturing and cutting off and getting stiff and rigid. Neither of these are useful, but staying composed, allowing yourself to be impacted without being thrown off center, is what we're talking about with composure. So, if you enjoyed this video, you got some value, and you would like to get more, Garrison and I just filmed this great video about talking about movies where all these dynamics are played out. Amplifiers, resistors, and conductors, as well as composure, posturing, and collapsing. And we go through some of the major motion pictures that have happened in the last 6 years. Die Hard, Terminator, American Beauty. We talked about Pulp Fiction. And we had a really fun, engaging conversation. And we talked about some of the characters you might model, as well as embodying it from the inside out, modeling it from the outside in, to help you get a deeper sense of what we're talking about here. So if you're one of the first 40 people to sign up for Power of Integrity, you'll get access to this video. And you may be the only ones who ever see this. We may release it at some time in the future, but we don't currently have any plans for that at all. So we want to get this in your hands, those of you who are really hungry for this. And so if you're one of the first 40, when it goes on sale, you'll get a copy.